Welcome to the Bengal Library. Here is Mrs. Auld to go over some rules and expectations in our library.
Well, I'm Mrs. Auld. I know most of you know me. There's a few new faces. We have a lot of new faces throughout the district. So I'm Mrs. Auld. I'm here on Tuesdays and Thursdays from the beginning of the school day until 10:30, and then I go to Lincoln School on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I still have 3 schools that I'm librarian at, so I'm here. I'm at Lincoln and I'm at Wakefield. So that's why I'm not here all the time. But Mrs. Seamers she's here every day. Anything about library, things like that, she can help you out.
Mrs. Seamers does take a lunch every day from 11:45 to 12:15. Fridays will be a little different for every quarter.
And she has it posted on the doors. So if the doors are closed and lights are off, you can look at the schedule out you can see through the glass, and you'll know that that's for lunch. So if the doors are closed and locked, lights are off, go get your teacher, and if you need copies, they can let you in to get those, okay? The library portion of it is closed though. Nobody will help you until Mrs. Seamers gets back, okay? We are set up by genre. If you were here last year, we kind of talked about that, which means that we took the categories like adventure, family, sports, westerns, mystery, fantasy, and we've taken those types of books, those categories, and put the books that fit that category here. So this is adventure, and so all books that have anything to do with adventure are going to be here. They're alphabetized by the author's last name, just like a regular library would be, but they're alphabetized by the author's last name within that genre. So then the genres are also alphabetized. So the last one we have is westerns, which is way over there by that door you came in from Mrs. Figus's room. So they have all those genres. Those are on this side of the room. Then we have our nonfiction over here, and Mrs. Seamers made these awesome posters that tell you what's in each of those sections. So we have the 000s to 399. It'll tell you religion, social sciences, psychology. Those type of books are there. Mythology is going to be in that section. 741.5, those are your graphic novels. It's going to tell you. So you can look at those posters if you know what you're looking for. Like if you're looking for ag, 630 to 741 agriculture is going to be on that shelf below. So you can look for your topic that you're looking for and know which shelf to look in. Then we have the biographies that are right along this wall. And then we have just general books. In some of these, we have the Guinness Book of World Records and some of these bookshelves that are just separate. We have encyclopedias, dictionaries, if you ever need those. I know a lot of stuff is out there on the internet, but sometimes that's not as trustworthy. But we do have some sites that are more trustworthy that you can use too. Let's see. We do have YA books, and so if you ever come across a book that you just don't feel like it's age appropriate for you or whatever, it's not, you don't feel comfortable reading it, bring it back. The couch and coffee table, they are something that PEP bought for us with student funds. The students raised funds to update the library, and we bought a couch, coffee table, and rug, and I think we got the TV and everything that year. So we want to take care of that stuff. So we aren't jumping on the couch, no feet on the coffee table, those kinds of things. And when you come into the library, we're walking in here. We aren't leaning over the back of it to put a notebook down and then coming around to your safe spot. Just come in, walk, and sit down. Appropriate behavior, we are not the gym. If you're gonna go run and do all that stuff, the gym's just down the hall from here. So we're walking in here, appropriate voice level. 2 is probably the loudest that you need to be. That's a conversation level, okay? If you're coming in to get copies and the library's open, please walk around the front of the circulation desk if you're coming from that side and go into the copy room. Please do not walk behind Mrs. Seamers. She wants to see you. And so if you can see her face, then that's the right way to come into the library to get your copies. We are going to communicate again through email. That's the easiest way we can do that. So if you have a book reserved for in the library, we will email you to let you know that it's here. And so if you don't check your email very well, then that book is probably not going to be here when you finally do check your email, because we'll wait a few days. If you don't come and get it, that's going to go on to the next person, if there is a next person that wants it. Overdues, things like that, that's what's going to come either from Mrs. Seamers, myself, or our library system will send emails to you also, especially for the overdues. For checkouts and returns, you get 3 books again this year. You have 2 weeks to keep those books and read them. You don't have to have 3. You can just check out 1 if you want to, but 3 is the max. Please return your books on a timely manner. There are over 200 kids in this school that might also want to, one of them or more, might want to read that book. So if you're not reading it, if you're just not getting to it, or it's just not yours, don't just keep it in your locker or at home or wherever. Bring it back so that others can check it out. I mean, we have had people that kept them all year, and we've had people that are waiting to read that book, and just think how frustrating that would be if you were the one waiting. You really want to read that book, and somebody's not returning it. So please think of others when you're doing that. Just get them back. If you have a book and you're really into it, but you're not quite done with it, you can renew it. If somebody is waiting has that book on hold, we'll only let you renew 1 time. So that gives you a month to read the book, okay?
Remember the good old days at Lincoln when you had a shelf marker? We don't have them at CCCMS, so you have to mark the spot in other ways. The best way to mark your spot that you took a book from is to pull the book next to it out. If you forget to mark your spot and decide not to check out that book, please don't put it back on the shelf just anywhere in the library, even if you think you know exactly where it goes. The books only have one spot where they belong in the library. Sound familiar? It should if you went to Lincoln School and I was your librarian. What should you do if you change your mind or decide not to check out a book? Put it on the never mind cart. This helps Mrs. Seamers and Mrs. Auld have a great day because they know where all the books belong.
If you have any ideas for the library, please email Mrs. Seamers and myself. And finally, please don't leave the library without checking out books from Mrs. Seamers or myself. In the past, we've had trouble. Sometimes kids they forget. And so just make sure you've seen Mrs. Seamers or myself to check out that book. Even if you need that book for just 1 hour to finish up a project, you come in, check it out, and take it. You need to check it out. We need to know where that book is, even if it's for an hour, because if somebody else comes in to find that book and you've walked off with it just because you needed it for a short time and then you forgot to bring it back, we don't know where it's at. So think about, like, if you leave the house and don't tell your parents where they're going, they start to get worried, especially if you're gone for a long time and they have no clue. Books are our kids. So if they leave the library and we don't know where, we're worried, and when people want them. And so just think of others for that purpose, okay?
One last thing, please remember to push in your chairs when you leave. Also, if there's trash on the floor, please be nice and pick it up. We really appreciate that. Hope you guys have a great year. Don't hesitate to ask us any questions. We're here for you. Also, you may use the library as a passway from class to class. If you don't want to walk the hallways, you may cut through. Thank you.